The leaves of the tree are for healing.
Shalom everybody. So in my video yesterday, I asked if there were any questions on what anybody would want to focus on if I discussed about Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. And the response I got was basically to discuss investing rather than the technical side of cryptocurrencies. So that's what I want to discuss in this video. If this leads to any other new questions, or if you have any other questions, then feel free to ask them in the comment section and then maybe I can make a new video about it. But in this video, I just want to discuss 7 different ways in which we can invest with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Sometimes other cryptocurrencies are called altcoins, as in alternative coins to Bitcoin. Sometimes the coins, they don't actually have coin at the end of their name, as in dark coin turned into dash. But it used to have a coin, but they just dropped the name because they wanted to go to a shorter name with dash. So, and Dash Digital Cash, it has like a ring to it tagline. So anyway, I just found it interesting that I did this video. I discussed how Bitcoin was not the mark of the beast. And today this one was put up on Zachary Bauer's channel, who's more Torah observant. And again, he goes, Bitcoin is not the mark of the beast. And yet, of course, in the comment section, there's a bunch of people who are discussing whether or not it's the mark of the beast. But he actually discusses in this video a way that a centralized cryptocurrency could turn into the mark of the beast. I believe the mark of the beast is lawlessness and has nothing to do with cash. But of course, you can see my videos on that. And you can see his video on why he thinks that it could be a different cryptocurrency. So, the first one. The first way is to be able to actually get cryptocurrencies without actually paying for them, without buying them. And as I was mentioning, Zachary does believe some cryptocurrency, if it was centralized, could turn into the mark of the beast, and you can see his video on that, of course. But he does believe in cryptocurrencies, and he has this Steemit account where he can post things and then make money. So people who like it and, share it or whatever, comment on it, that sort of thing, that's helping him get money. He can also advertise his Patreon account, etc. But of course, you do need to have content. You need to be able to write an article or write a video with some sort of interesting lead into it, that somebody would enjoy reading or watching. And then also sharing with other people so that you get the viewers, and people who would vote it up and comment. And, it's a good way to be able to make money without actually having to do anything. So then you could get the Steemit, the Steem, and you can use that. You can sell it, trade it, and buy Bitcoin with it if you wanted to, without ever having to actually go pay the government, tax money on it, because you just received Steem. For what? For doing this. You never bought it. You never, you don't have to sell it into cash or whatever. You can actually use Bitcoin to get things without ever turning it into cash, because there are retailers out there who will ask for Bitcoin and then send you the product that you want. I actually do that. I mean, as far as my Truth or Talk on simplytruthertalk.com, if somebody wanted to pay with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies such as Dogecoin or Dash or whatever, then they can pay with that, and they're not actually paying it. They're just, it's the cash just flows, or cryptocurrency, whatever, just flows, and they're never actually turning it into dollars. So it's never being sold as far as the US government is concerned. It's just passed along. On a somewhat related note, you can also work for cryptocurrencies for Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin Talk forum, which I was on. And so actually the first Bitcoin I got was actually doing contract work for people. I would do graphics. If somebody wanted a design, I did one in Illustrator and Photoshop and things like that. So I did graphic work as a contractor for Bitcoin. Now, the only thing with that is that you have to trust them to actually give you the Bitcoin. But at that stage in my life, I was just thinking, I'm working on my graphic arts no matter what I do, it's going to be for the betterment of myself because I'm just getting practice in what I'm doing. So I looked at it, even if they don't pay me, I am getting, compensated with the fact that I'm doing work and going to get better and better at what I'm doing. And a learning experience, of course. And so I did that, and then people did pay me. I never ran into any problems with that. And according to the law of attraction, there's probably a lot that you can control with your vibration as far as that goes. But I didn't realize all that stuff back then. But anyway, I did just see it as a positive no matter what. And so I was able to come into Bitcoin having it based on, never paying for it at that point in time. And that worked out really well. And the same thing goes for other altcoins, other cryptocurrencies. I made a wallet design for Woodcoin, and they paid me 10,000 Woodcoin for that. So actually, this is my portfolio, and this was the first one I did. He wanted this as in an Illustrator file rather than a raster, and I made this Pi coin. This is the Woodcoin paper wallet that I got the 10,000 Woodcoin for. And Woodcoin, obviously, I just used their logo and turned it into a coin, basically, and some other graphic arts contests and things like that. I did make these banners and stuff like that. I'll get into that. But yeah, so you can do that on the Bitcoin Talk forum. But if you have any questions about this, please ask me before you go ahead and, but like I said, it's a gamble, as far as if somebody's going to actually pay you, because if you do the work and you give it to them and they don't pay you, then you can, knock down their trust on the Bitcoin Talk forum. And that's bad, but, bad for them. But you can't really get the money unless they go through an escrow or something like that. I'm not going to discuss escrows in this video, but regardless, this the first way to be able to invest is to invest your time. You can go about and do a gig or a job of some sort, and whether it's doing it on an article here on Steemit or on Minds, even Minds.com is another Facebook like website and social networking site, and then when you get more viewers, visitors, etc., then you get paid for that in their cryptocurrency, and then that goes on the blockchain. And so, whether or not the Minds coin is going to be worth much, I don't know. I can't even figure out how much it's worth at this second when I was trying to find it real quick. But, it's something that if you get it now and it goes up later, if Facebook crashed and everybody went to Minds.com, then the coin would explode in price, because you can actually use their token to be able to boost your post, your status, so that other people will see it. And it's actually useful in that, manner. So investing time, writing articles, posts, whatever, that's one way to do it, to be able to get some cryptocurrency without ever having to actually pay for it with US dollars or other currencies around the world, basically. All right, and the second way is to buy Bitcoin and save it. Now, I mentioned in my last video about Coinbase, and if you used my referral link and bought over $100 US dollars worth of cryptocurrency, then they would give you 10 US dollars or equivalent in your domestic currency for the referral bonus, and you and I would both get that. And the reason I mention it is because when you do buy cryptocurrencies, there is a $3, well, at least it was $3 when I did it, $100, $3 fee for Coinbase to actually do the purchasing for you. So, and to send you, the money or whatever to take care of that part. So if you get the $10 bonus, then you're not out the $3, and you'd be up $7 already. So there you go, having an investment, right there. And so that's one way to do it, is just long-term buy Bitcoin and save it, hold it. I would suggest taking it off of Coinbase and putting it into a paper wallet, because, until you take the Bitcoin for yourself and put it on your own wallet, they have the keys. If they get hacked, then maybe something could happen, although they're insured and things like that. But I don't want to get into all that. I just feel better having it on a paper wallet as soon as I can do that. Right now, they're holding it for like 12 days or something for the money to go through. But that's the second one. Obviously, a lot of people know that you buy Bitcoin and then you save it. That's what a lot of people do when they hear about Bitcoin. They want to invest and then they buy it and save it. Now, as far as that goes, from yesterday, I've lost money on what I bought. That doesn't matter to me because I'm thinking long term and I just know that Bitcoin's going to go up personally. So, I mean, just because that's the way I think. I think that if I wasn't, if I was being led to buy it, that it's going to go up. But that's just my own. You can't make decisions based on my feelings. But I'll explain why, even logically, I do believe it's going to go up. So this is the Bitcoin price over the past year. And you can see that it's gone down a lot since here. This was, let's see here, December 17th, 2017. So last December, the price was $19,086 basically for one Bitcoin. The price currently here is $6,436. So it was huge. I mean, it went up to $20,000, I believe, depending on different people. Well, it's very, very close if it didn't actually hit 20,000. It's hard to tell here. But for me personally, I'm thinking that it went up around Christmas. This was December. There was a big pump before Christmas. What happened there? Now, a lot of people could speculate all sorts of ideas, but in my mind, I'm thinking that it's just people were obviously in the mood for Bitcoin. And it happened around this time period. And I'm thinking that life is a circle, and just as there's a lot of stock issues around, September, October, where the stocks can fall, that's the time of the dips and all that. I'm thinking the same thing could happen around December. It could go up again right before Christmas again, perhaps this year. But, I'm not a stock analyzer, and I think it's very interesting. Mr. Thrive and Survive has done stock analysis, and I forget if he ever looked into cryptocurrency. But anyway, I'm going to look at the all-time price range here. So we are here, at the end here at 6,000. And that huge spike here up to almost 20,000 was in December. But you can see from the very beginning, that was the huge spike, that it really went up. And so the question is, do you think that they were really willing to spend almost $20,000 last December, and then they're just never going to be willing to spend that much money on Bitcoin ever again in the future? I think it's going to go up. I mean, like I said, I'm not a stock analyzer. There's been these, bumps here but it just seems to me that it could go up. And if it is going to go up, I really believe it could pass this 20,000 again. And that's just my belief. And that's why, even if it is falling right now, I think that it would go up in the future. But obviously it is falling. So if you believe that that's as high as it's ever going to get and it's just going to fall from there, then you're not going to have much faith in it. So why would you buy it, right? But personally, I think that it's definitely going to pass that in my opinion. So do not make any decisions based on my opinion. You're supposed to be figuring this stuff out yourself. But so that's one way that you could buy it and just save it. But that's going to be long term, because right now the price is falling. And somebody mentioned they've been buying and buying this year, and it's been falling and falling and falling, But I feel like, well, that's a great time to join in is when it's falling. You buy low and then you sell when it's high. Like last year, I was buying stuff with Bitcoin and it was great. I felt great being able to do that. And I don't know, it's fantastic being able to spend it when it's high. And so that's where my mind's at, that it can get up there again. And that's my opinion. But if that's not your opinion, that's not the only way to actually make money with cryptocurrencies. So I'm going to get into other ways that you can invest, where you can buy Bitcoin now and then use your Bitcoin for other things in which you can make more money. Number 3, buy Bitcoin and then buy altcoins or other cryptocurrencies and then save those. So another thing I've done has been to get other cryptocurrencies like Graft. So if you get into the altcoin market, I do suggest sort of, not putting all your eggs in one basket idea here. You want to get a little bit of different ones so that if one of them tanks and that's it, if you have all your money in that and it tanks, then you're, SOL basically. So we want to have multiple different currencies. But the thing is, Bitcoin is somewhat volatile, but these altcoins can be very volatile. And, when Bitcoin goes up in price, the altcoins will go up because it's usually anchored to Bitcoin. Just imagine like there's a line, Bitcoin's here, the altcoin is here, and there's a line just connecting them. And when Bitcoin goes up, it just drags them up. And different coins will fluctuate a little bit differently, not dependent on Bitcoin, but in general, they can go up. And you can even see they're all sort of going on the same sort of graph. Where there's lots of spikes all at the same time here. They all went down at this point, and then they all went up again. And not every single one, see, this one didn't have that, but you'll see a lot of them do just sort of follow the same sort of line themselves. So you can track this. This is coinmarketcap.com, and I'll leave that below. It's, all the different market capitalization of the cryptocurrencies. These are the top 100. You can search for which coin you're interested in here. It'll show up right there. So the top one is Bitcoin. And then there's Ethereum. And there's a lot of these ones that are connected to Ethereum, which that could be a whole nother video if you're interested in it, but I'm not doing that here. But then Bitcoin Cash was actually a fork of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was going along, and then it forked into normal Bitcoin and then Bitcoin Cash. And at this time when the fork happened, I actually had Bitcoin. If you had Bitcoin at the time of this fork, you got double. Now I have the same amount, in Bitcoin here as I do in Bitcoin Cash at that time of the fork. So randomly I have over, a Bitcoin worth of Bitcoin Cash, and I never ever bought it because it was just a fork off of Bitcoin. That could be another video if you're interested in why. But yeah, so these are all the different, large players in, there's Dogecoin. I liked Dogecoin. I used to have a Dogecoin faucet, but I don't believe that they have a limit to how many there are going to be. There's a limit for Bitcoin, and that's why there's not supposed to be inflation with that. But there isn't a limit for Dogecoin unless they've changed that in the past couple of years. So just hold on. I actually saw Steam on here if you were interested in it. Steam, there it is, number 40. So that's what you can get with the Steemit articles. So let's see here. I also bought Graft. I have a few different coins. A lot of the times I just worked for it. Yes, Graft is on here. Okay. And so Graft is very, very cheap right now. I actually bought it at a price where it's gone down to this price, but it hasn't too much. Bought it at probably double the price that it's at now. No, a little bit less than double, because I bought it at around 500 Satoshis, and right now it's at 306 Satoshis here. You can see that. It's gone down in price recently, but it used to be lower than that. It used to be hanging around in the 170s whenever I've been checking. So I will pull that up. Just hold on for a second here. So this is the Trade Ogre marketplace where people are buying and selling Graft, and they do it a lot on Trade Ogre. I do think it's on some other markets, but I'm not sure which ones at this point in time. This was the main one where there's a lot of Graft there to buy. Some of the other ones, there might not be much Graft to buy, and there were just a couple of, buying orders because nobody was selling it the last time I looked, but it's been a little while. With the cryptocurrencies, I tend to buy them and then just hold on to them, so I don't spend every single day checking to see how much they are. And in general, things have been going down, which is interesting that this one's going up just because Bitcoin was going down. in general, things were going down because Bitcoin was going down, but Graft is actually rising because it's been in the 170s and now it's getting up to 300, although, obviously dipping here. So the reason I'm even talking about Graft is because I bought some, because I actually think that maybe it might go up a lot. And right now it's at 305 Satoshis, but it also has, this is the dollar version. And so it's almost 2 cents a graft, So it's almost 2 cents a graft. And what if it went up to $1 a graft? You'd make a lot of money. And it wouldn't even have to go up that much considering dollar price, right? And so there's a lot more money to be made in buying the cheaper cryptocurrencies, but of course it might do nothing. And that's why the altcoin investing is very volatile. That's what I'm saying. It's more risky, obviously, but where there's more risk, there's more chance of getting a lot more money from it. So, personally, I had 10,000 Woodcoin that I mentioned. And when I got that, it really wasn't worth much. People were mining it. It was very easy to get for the people that were mining it who really believed in it. And so, 10,000 from the dev, that's nothing to them. So I got that for doing the design of the paper wallet. And then I held on to it for years and years and years. And then, of course, Bitcoin went up in price. And like I said, when Bitcoin goes up in price, it sort of drags up the price of the other cryptocurrencies. And I hadn't noticed. Actually, this computer came from me having Dogecoin that went up in price because Bitcoin went up in price. I didn't notice. And then I got, more than $1,000 worth of Dogecoin on my computer that I forgot I had. So, and I mean, I didn't realize the price that Bitcoin had dragged it up to. So, the same thing happened with my Woodcoin. My Woodcoin was actually worth something. So I sold my Woodcoin because I thought, well, I could trade my Woodcoin for Graft once I heard about Graft, which I'll get into why. And so that's what I did. I just traded my Woodcoin, which I thought to myself, well, I was just holding Woodcoin anyway. So I may as well hold a different cryptocurrency that probably has a much higher chance of thriving than Woodcoin does, personally. Just because of what Graft wants to do compared to what Woodcoin, what they had planned for the future, basically. So I want to just discuss quickly the plan of Graft if you're interested, just for why I chose that. I'll leave a link below to Graft's announcement thread, basically, on Bitcoin Talk. Most cryptocurrencies have an announcement thread on Bitcoin Talk. So that's, important to know. That's where, if you have any questions for the devs and all that stuff and discuss with the other people on there, it's a good place to be. And this is their website, which I can also leave a link to below if you're interested. And I'll show you also, there's different videos here that kind of explain it a little bit. I'll leave a link below to this video also if you're interested. But basically, Verifone or Verifone, I forget how to pronounce it, but this is what you would use at, the store if you wanted to buy with your Graft. And in a store, it's very difficult to pay for things with Bitcoin. Most stores don't accept Bitcoin. If you want to accept Bitcoin, you usually have to wait for, the transaction to go through, which can be many minutes long or even half an hour or something if you weren't paying like a miner's fee with it. So Graft is actually very quick. It's set up to be used with this system. And it's just that if you went to a store, they already have these terminals in the store. Whereas if you go to a store who sells Bitcoin, they probably had to get like a tablet or something in order to accept Bitcoin, because their processing of payments, these don't work with Bitcoin. But what Graft is doing is it gets into the system. It's getting itself set up. And Verifone has already tweeted that they are working with Graft. So it's actually huge that these terminals that the stores already have are working with Graft, because that means that the stores, if they were going to take cryptocurrency, won't have to buy a different, you know, way to accept cryptocurrencies basically. Whereas if a regular store that wants to accept Bitcoin is going to have to, come up with a different way to accept Bitcoin. They're going to have to teach their employees how to use that system, etc. Here, it's already, basically what they're used to, and it's already in the store. So you don't have to buy something new. So it's inventive as far as it's the connection needed to actually be able to take cryptocurrencies into the marketplace without having to actually, add something else. It's just, to me, that seems like that's something that's useful in the world, that we actually need in the world to make cryptocurrencies actually jump up to be useful. And so, and the payment system, I don't think that it's just Graft. I think they're going to be able to take other cryptocurrencies too. But I'm not sure on that. You can read through all their stuff. But I just thought that, it's more beneficial for me than to have money in Woodcoin, to be able to have it in this. And they also have super nodes, which I guess I don't really want to get into too much and bog this video down, but there's ways in which you can actually use the graft that you have to make more graft by being a part of the network. It's kind of like a staking cryptocurrency rather than proof of work so much. So proof of stake versus proof of work. And I talked about all that stuff in my guide. But if you're interested in me expounding on that, then feel free to ask me about that. So once again, I'm not suggesting you all go out and buy graft, but to me, it seemed like one of those ones that just seems like it's so cheap. Why not get some if it could go up a lot? And that's the case for a lot of different coins out there you can look into, but a lot of them are just sort of pump and dumps where people will suggest, well, this one looks really, really good, and if graft went down, somebody could accuse me of being a pump and dumper because I was saying, oh, it's so great, and then go buy it and then it crashes, and that's when, the people would dump it. But that's not what I'm saying. Don't listen to me. You have to do your own research. I'm just saying that's something that I did, is I went out and I got it because I thought, well, it has a chance of exploding based on the fact that Verif1 is actually working with them. I mean, that's literally the case. The Twitter account of Verif1 was saying that they're working with Graft. They can show videos of Graft being on the Verif1 terminals, and that is what you can see in stores. I know I went to the bank and I saw one of the Verif1 terminals. So that's something that's just real world, proof to me that they're doing something, that they have a vision and they want to do something with that. But so number 3 was buy Bitcoin or get Bitcoin, and then buy altcoins and save the altcoins. So that's one thing, is I have some graft. It's just sitting there and it'll just sit there until, makes money. Or it gets up a little bit and I decide something else better has come along or whatever. You can always make your decision in the future. Number 4 would be get Bitcoin or altcoins and become a trader. So there's some people who just go onto these markets and then they put their money on there and then they will trade all day long. Just they think that this one is going to go up, so they'll sell it, or buy it, and then if it goes up and they don't think it's going to go up any further, then they sell it and they buy something else, and then that one they can trade back and forth, and all these different currencies are on here. And it's just like a stock, market. It's constantly going, as you can always, there's always a way to make money if you start researching these things out. You can go to the Bitcoin Talk forum and read the announcement threads for the coins, read people's, beliefs on certain things. My first video I did on Bitcoin here, I was talking about how Rob Esquiva was talking about Gladiacoin, and Gladiacoin wasn't even a cryptocurrency. It's not even a coin. It was a Ponzi scheme, and I was warning people, and that came out to be true and all that stuff. But I found out about that being a Ponzi scheme because I looked on Bitcoin Talk, and there's a lot of good people on there, a lot of scammers too, but they have, coins to show how long they've been on there, and there's reputation because you can knock somebody down for doing something that wasn't very good and all that. So you can kind of tell somewhat how good somebody is or whatever, how new they are, how well known they are, etc. So there's a little bit of reputation involved there so that you can tell. if something might be good or something might be bad. And of course, they all have their own personal opinions, and opinions don't mean anything. That people could say a lot of bad things about graft, but maybe it works out. They don't know. So but you have to do your own research and make up your own mind on that. And I don't know about being a trader personally, but people do become traders. That's how they can make money. They invest as far as they get some cryptocurrency in some way. They'll put it on a market and then they trade it. And that's one way that you can make money. It's one way you can lose money too if you buy something that doesn't work out, or if you use a market that gets hacked, or if you use a market that just decides not to pay you. So you have to be very careful with these marketplaces. You have to look into their reputation too. And when I put money on a market, I just go in there, get what I want, and get out. Withdraw your funds as soon as you can. If you don't want to do anything more with it. Personally, I don't like to leave a bunch of money on a market, but there are people that that's what they do. They trade with that money, and they can make money that way. So that's one way to invest it. So you don't have to just buy Bitcoin and sit on it. You can buy Bitcoin and actually go out there and invest in things that you think are going to go up and more quickly. People have made a lot of money in a day, just based on what they're doing. Of course, you can lose a lot of money in a day if you buy the wrong coin. So that's why you have to do a lot of research. But that is one way that you can make money investing with cryptocurrencies. All right, so way number 4 was to become a trader of cryptocurrencies. Number 5, buy Bitcoin or other altcoins and create a faucet or another website, games, competitions, etc., and make money with that, with the ads. So I used to run a Dogecoin faucet, and so I would give away Dogecoin on my website, very little, obviously. It doesn't even have to be a cent at first worth of Dogecoin. They just keep coming back. You can set the faucet for every 8 hours or every 24 hours. There's lots of faucets out there. I actually made a rotator of faucets where we go from one faucet to the next faucet to the next faucet. People would use my rotator. I would use referral numbers, and then I would get money based on what they had done. And I actually made a lot of money with Dash, dark coin, back in the day because of that, because I created a dark coin faucet rotator, which, there weren't any at that point in time. With my referrals, I was able to make a lot of money in the future because dark coin wasn't worth as much when I was doing it. And so I was picking up a little bit after them. So that's one way also. If you created a faucet rotator with referral links, that's one thing. And then advertising on the Bitcoin Talk forum. That might be a lot of work in the future, at that time period. But what I did at that time period, like I said, dark coin wasn't worth that much. And dark coin made the shift to Dash during this whole time period. But at that point, I was doing a dark coin faucet, and it wasn't worth that much at that point in time. And then it grew after it went to Dash, I think, is when it really ballooned up in price. And I think I probably ended up with a couple $100 worth of stuff because people were using my rotator, because I was just getting a couple cents each at that point in time. So how would that work out today? Well, you're never going to give away that much of whatever cryptocurrency it is in that faucet. You're never going to, as an owner, want to give out that much money for each one. But if you find a coin from a faucet, like I said, with this rotator that wasn't worth much, but it's going to expand in the future, and you're getting referral, money in the future from everybody that you refer and never uses it ever again, then that's residual passive income for you that's exploding in price whenever this thing goes up. So that's how, that's one way that it can make money, but you have to choose a coin at this point in time that's not worth much. So once again, that's speculating as far as the future goes for whichever coin it was. And then so you can go to faucets and get free ones. And that, like I said, could work out because, like I said, the dark coin that I got did explode. But the other thing is, you want to be careful if you're going to faucets yourself, because a lot of the faucets have ads that will do malware, hacker ads, basically, to get on your computer and to keylog it so that that's how they want to make money, because they're malicious and all that stuff. Going to faucets regularly, I would suggest doing it in a sandbox, like Sandboxy, That's something that I don't do anymore, but that's one way that you could get free ones. I was going to them all because I was building my faucet database at that point in time, which it's not still online. It wouldn't even, faucets, they run out of money and then they stop doing it. So there'd be new ones all the time. So my database would be not even worthwhile. Actually, Bitcoin Aliens was one of the ones that I was using and, on the rotator, and I look now and it's completely changed. Now they have apps for these things on your phone and tablets and stuff like that. So, that's, I don't know, they probably have, I'm sure they have ads in there. That's the thing. So if you wanted to run a faucet, you could, create a faucet where you're giving away money. That would be a whole nother video or article or something for you guys. But you could put ads on there and make money from that, where you're making money on the ads that the people are seeing and or clicking on, and then you give away free stuff. So that's what I did on my Dogecoin faucet. I had ads on there, and then people would, view my page. So there's one thing with the Google ads. I'm not sure if they're still doing it with faucets. There might be leeway somehow, maybe some way with that. But a lot of people were saying that it was getting shut down with Google ads, but there's other ad services that let you get money for views. So that way you're using the money. You could buy Bitcoin and then buy Dogecoin and have a Dogecoin faucet rather than just have a Bitcoin faucet. Some would probably do better than others. Some people only go to Bitcoin faucets likely. You also have to worry about people who would hack your database and all that sort of stuff. So there was Faucet in a Box. There still is, but they shut down. Faucetbox.com shut down. So that's what I used when I did my Dogecoin one. But that's one thing, is that you have websites where you are using the money that you have in cryptocurrency to get views and get your ad money from Google or some other service so that you're making money. So in that case, obviously, faucet owners make money. They wouldn't be giving away free cryptocurrency if they weren't making enough money to pay it. Well, that's why some of them shut down, because they weren't. But in general, faucets make money. Bitcoin Aliens has obviously done really well for itself and has a lot of apps on the store now, app stores now. So that's one way that you can make money with cryptocurrencies. And another way, also, there was one website that I was involved with where they had competitions, where it was a forum and they were getting viewers and people who were spending time there, who were playing games and competitions against each other, and then they would beat each other and somebody would win, and they'd get the little icon saying that they won that week or whatever, and then they could win some Bitcoin or Dogecoin or whatever. And so the people, again, the forum was getting paid for their ads, and the people were getting their cryptocurrencies for participating in those ads. And it was a nice little community where people get together and have fun together. Okay, so also on my Dogecoin faucet, I had somebody approached me. They wanted a banner ad on my faucet, so they would give me Dogecoins for that, and that's probably partly why I got this computer that I did, because I think those Dogecoins were the ones that were ballooning in price on me, just for having this ad on my faucet where they get to go to the Dogecoin forum. So of course, the Dogecoin forum was getting visitors. That's how they got people to come who were interested in Dogecoin. So it's, there's an exchange of energy, right? Somebody wants some visitors, so they're paying you for this, and then you're getting people, you're getting Dogecoin, and you're getting people from other places and everything. It's really a nice community to be able to come together, and everybody was benefiting basically at that, because people were getting free cryptocurrency, and then they'd go to the Dogecoin forum and they were getting free cryptocurrency there too. So anyway, that's one way, because everybody else was getting ads from Google ads and various things like that. So that's one way that you can make money by investing with these cryptocurrencies. So, what I was saying about the Bitcoin and people who most people might go to Bitcoin faucets versus another cryptocurrency faucet, but also for those harder to get cryptocurrency faucets, if you had one, They might come there because that was the only place to get it, or one of the only places to get it. So you'd get more advertising with that, and people would be less likely to try to attack a altcoin faucet as they would be trying to attack a Bitcoin faucet, because that's where they feel like there is more money for them. So that's one thing. There's pros and cons to all the different things there. But so that's number 5 is just get cryptocurrency some way, and then run a website where you're making money on ads in some way. And that's how you can invest in order to make more money that way. And if you have a good computer, the last couple here are to get a good video card and mine. Now, some people mine for Bitcoin, but that can be a bit expensive and hard to do. Some people do it in mining pools and things like that. That's best for some of the harder ones to get. But there are other smaller cryptocurrencies that might be easier to mine. Like I said with Woodcoin, I was using my GPU of my computer to mine Woodcoin. At that time, it was a lot. I was getting a lot because it was really easy at that point in time. And now it's more difficult. And you can't use the CPU as much. I think it might have moved over to needing a video card to get it, which I never had a good video card. So there are ways to mine with video cards, and this is one of those articles that talks about the best mining video cards, basically. And in this case, you can mine a bunch of smaller cryptocurrencies or whatever cryptocurrency suits your fancy, and you can save that. So number 6 would be get a video card, mine it, and save it. There are other ways too with some proof of stake cryptocurrencies I mentioned earlier instead of proof of work. In those cases, you buy them and then you can mine with those without actually mining on a video card. But if you want to know the difference between proof and stake, that's another video. But basically, this is proof of work where they're using a video card to do some work. And so you can do this. Number 6 would be mine some sort of cryptocurrency. If you did a smaller cryptocurrency, you can sell that. So some people will mine a cryptocurrency they don't even like just because it's the easiest thing for them to mine. Then they put that on a market and they sell that market for the coin that they do want. And you can easily do that. What they say, miners' fees and all that stuff. Miners have costs. So they mine this stuff and then they will, energy costs and things like that. And then they'll put it on a market and they'll sell it to make back the cost that they put into it. And then after they've paid for whatever it is, everything else they get is their profit. So you can buy a video card, you can sell some of it off to make your, to pay for your buying the video card and your energy and everything. And then anything else you get in the future is profit, and you can save that. You can turn it into whatever cryptocurrency you like on a market and save that on a wallet of your own, or you can sell it. So number 7 would be to get a video card, just mine some sort of cryptocurrency and just sell it all every time you get it. And so that way you could turn it into Bitcoin, and you can turn the Bitcoin into cash. So it's really that simple. Well, I shouldn't say simple, but these are some examples where there are plenty of examples. Simple as in there's plenty of ways to invest with cryptocurrencies. And the actual details of it might be a little bit more in depth. So if you wanted me to go more in depth in anything, then please feel free to ask in a comment below. But there are many ways in order that you can use cryptocurrencies to invest. And, it's really a great way, basically, I think, to invest. You don't have to know a lot about stocks. Some people, they want to trade stocks, and you think you have to get like a broker, you have to get, a lot of money in order to get the minimums and all that stuff. And here it's just so easy to trade in things that are so small. Like I said, a graft is, it's 2 cents, basically. It's gone up a little bit since I started this, but it's 2 cents for a graft. And there's other ones that are just, smaller, and you can just easily get into it, basically. I mean, like I said, with stock market, it's kind of, sometimes people feel like it's really hard to get into this, but you could spend $50 and put it onto a marketplace, $50 in Bitcoin or something, put it onto a marketplace and trade and make money. If you know what you're doing, if you know how to do it, but you don't have to worry about, the hows in order, to get like a fancy schmancy, lawyer or something like that. Now, as far as turning it into cash and getting profits, well, as soon as you turn it into cash, I'm not a tax lawyer, so then you have to deal with that for your taxes. If you're making money and you're withdrawing it into cash, then that's where the money comes. That's where the taxes come from. If you keep it in the cryptocurrency, you're still just investing in whatever. Whether or not the government sees it as a currency yet, or just, well, that's not my forte, basically. I don't get into that. I just pretty much get it and hold it, or turn it into something else so that it's never actually going into cash. Just let the flow go, So anyway, if you have any questions, you want me to expand on anything, please leave a link below, a comment below with what you want me to expand upon. And I will leave a link below if you want to buy from Coinbase. Like I said, there is a $10 referral bonus for you and me. And I have other addresses if you want to donate, if you found this information interesting and helpful, and that I would appreciate it. So thank you all for watching, and that's another way. It's really nice. Cryptocurrencies are great for giving tips. Just, you don't even have to give $1. You can just give a little cryptocurrency to somebody with an address real quick. You don't have to know who they are. It's wonderful for anonymous tipping over the internet. Somebody actually tipped me a couple $100 worth of Bitcoin a while back, and that was fantastic, but I don't even know who to thank because it was anonymous. So it's really nice, an addition to the internet, in my opinion. And I don't think it's anything to fear, but, it's just, there's a good and bad ways to use it. And there's ways to make money and there's ways to lose money. So you just have to spend your time researching. You can ask questions. I'm willing to help you out in any way I can. But at the end of the day, you should pray on what to do. And whatever you feel led to do is probably the right thing. As long as you're in a good state of mind when you're feeling led to do it, I suppose. If you're in a bad state of mind of worry, fear, and doubt, then it's probably not the best time to spend money. So thank you all for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, you can consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. You can also go to lothealing.com, and on the right-hand side, there's a little place where you can find more contact links for me. Besides Facebook, I'm also on Twitter, Google+, Steemit, MeWe, Minds, Gab.ai, and also Patreon. You can follow me on Patreon for free, but you can also donate if you want to for as little as $1 a month. Everything is appreciated. Have a great day. Chris White once coined the phrase short-term New World Order freakout syndrome to explain what it's like to have your perception of the world shattered. Of course, it's not just about the shape of the world, whether it's flat, round, or something else entirely. This New World Order freakout often includes now saying no to GMOs, fluoride, vaccines, and pharmaceuticals. It's a complete overhaul to your lifestyle. And trying to explain that mainstream media is just propaganda to promote false flags, division, and more can really put a strain on your relationships. Have you gotten tired of being mocked by your own family for what you share? We've all been there. Are you treated like the black sheep because of the commandments you keep? I get it. We're all trying to figure things out together, but sometimes you just have to let your family and friends be. Plant the seed and wait and see. But while you wait for them to catch up, do you wish you had someone to talk with who gets it? That's what Truther Talk is for. Being able to discuss what's going on in your life and what you're interested in without feeling like you're going to be judged as a crazy conspiracy theorist who should be on drugs or committed. No subject is taboo, and I'd love to hear from you. Simply truthertalk.com. Simply make an appointment, and let's talk, Truther. The ladies